Ria TV, True FM.
In Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll give you a better life.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary at 12. My name is Hansen there represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life, that's what I live, you know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Works connecting those things.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.
Thanks for rejoining us at this point. We join Naketa Roberts to bring us the news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Johnson. Good evening, everyone. Former Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, Torgbean Myean, has publicly expressed deep regrets over his previous support for the ruling Unity Party, stating that he feels deceived and disappointed by the current administration's governance style. Speaking in a strongly worded statement, Councillor Myean said, "I regret ever supporting the Unity Party, and I'm sorry to the Liberian people. I was equally lied to." Councillor Myean, who played a significant role in rallying support for the Unity Party during the 2023 general election that saw President Joseph Boakai defeated former President George Weah, did not hold back in criticizing the current leadership. He described the Boakai administration as lawless and accused the president of undermining the rule of law and failing to respect the authority of the Supreme Court. The former justice lamented what he referred to as a growing culture of political interference, particularly regarding constitutional protection turnips positions in government. According to him, the blatant disregard for these legal safeguards reflects a troubling shift in governance, one that contradicts the values he believed the Unity Party once stood for. This is not the party I supported. The leadership has no respect for attorney positions, no regard for the Supreme Court, and certainly no commitment to good governance, he added. Councillor Myean remarks comes at a time of increasing public scrutiny over the Unity Party's actions in government, especially concerning allegations of political interference, mismanagement, and marginalization of institutions meant to serve as check and balances. Commissioner of Orders Kongatown Edo Lahai is recommending the national government organize a national mental crusade aimed at revitalizing the mental status of individuals in the country. The Kongatown Commissioner says Since the end of the Liberian Civil War and the process of this armament, there has not been a well-structured rehabilitation for individuals who participated in the war, something he said is having serious implication on the nation. According to him, people are in a society full of individuals who are traumatized and frustrated over poor living conditions. Speaking Friday as one of the facilitators of a day-long symposium organized by Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy in Painesville, Commissioner Lahad told the gathering that Liberians are becoming emotionally temperamental as a result of mental imbalance. At the same time, Commissioner Edward Lahad is encouraging Liberian youth to be mindful in selecting their career path. He said young people often graduate from high school without knowing their career path, blaming the situation on the lack of career development and pathway seminar organized by school administrators in the country. For his part, the executive director for Youth Initiative for Peace and Advocacy, Bobby Cobway, said the After Wax Symposium, the seminar was organized to educate high school graduates to understand how they can select that's their career path. He named conflict resolution, career development pathway, entrepreneurship, volunteerism, patriotism, among others, as topics taught during the seminar. ECOWAS volunteer program in partnership with the National Office of the West Africa Health Organization has presented full Athens sanitary pads, among others, to 3 local institutions outside Monrovia. Institutions that benefited from the donation include the AFI School of Deaf and Dumb, the Sister IA School, and the Oscar and Vala Stewart Mission. Speaking at the program, the deputy head of the ECOWAS National Office in Liberia, Amos Tubal, said the donation is part of the volunteers' way of celebrating the 50th anniversary of ECOWAS. According to Tubal, ECOWAS is now moving from the ECOWAS to ECOWAS of the people in order to enhance social cohesion that will foster integration in the region. The Opposition Movement for Economic Empowerment will host its first National Executive Committee meeting this Saturday. The meeting, which will be held at the party's headquarters in Painesville, is in compliance with Article 19, Section 2A of MOVE 2024 revised constitution, which calls for the holding of a National Executive Committee meeting once every 6 months. According to a MOVE release, chairpersons of the 15 counties chapters and the current 27 central NEC members of the Movement for Economic Empowerment are expected to be in attendance. The day-long meeting will be chaired by the party's political leader and standard bearer, Ambassador D. Mazwa Kemayal, and will afford members of the party's National Executive Committee to deliberate on matters relating to the status of the party. Meanwhile, the Ambassador D. Mazwa Kemayal Women Empowerment and Vocational Skills Training School is expected to host its first graduation this Sunday. The school, established in 2004, will graduate 40 females from its tailoring and cosmetology programs. The release further reaffirms MOVE's commitment to its economic empowerment ideology, which underscores that only an economically empowered people can make a prosperous nation. A young Liberian entrepreneur, Melissa Yenibo, has launched an initiative aimed at curtailing waste on the campuses of the University of Liberia. The initiative, TAG UL Sanitation Organization, according to Ms. Yandibo is geared towards addressing waste management, which has been an age-old issue on the campuses of the University of Liberia. According to her, for too long, the University of Liberia campuses has been labeled as unkept, noting that the cleanliness of the university campuses requires the holistic approach of all students to change the narrative. The organization is meanwhile poised to host a 4-day sanitation seminar for both high school and university students. The seminar, which is expected to be held from July 7 till the 12th, seeks to enhance students' knowledge that will enable them in their various communities. The government of Liberia, through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, is expected to launch a semi-industrial fisheries operation in waters beginning 4 nautical miles from the Liberian coastline. This significant move follows the recent validation of Liberia's first semi-industrial fisheries management plan, which was held on Thursday, June 19, 2025, at the National Fishery and Aquaculture Headquarters on Bourgeois Island. Speaking at the event, the Acting Director General of NAFA, Cyrus Sibwe, emphasized the importance of the plant as a critical policy instrument for the sustainability and the development of Liberia's fisheries sector. Sibwe disclosed that the government, through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, has already completed and published the formal demarcation of the 4 nautical mile boundary, enabling semi-industrial vessels to begin operating in designated areas of Liberia's exclusive economic zone. According to him, this initiative is essential for creating new economic opportunities and expanding the country's fisheries portfolio in a transparent and sustainable manner. In keeping with international best practices, Mr. Siwe reiterated Liberia's commitment to global transparency mechanisms. He highlighted Liberia's recent endorsement of the Global Charter of Fisheries Transparency alongside its existing membership in the Fisheries Transparency Initiative, urging stakeholders participating in the validation workshops to remain open and collaborative throughout the process. Delivering remarks at the event, Deputy Minister for Technical Services at the Ministry of Agriculture, Honorable Solomon Williams, lauded NAFA's leadership in developing the management plan, but stressed the need for stronger regulatory mechanisms. The validation workshop also saw active engagement from Liberia's development partners and key stakeholders. European Union Representative Maria Windows urged NAFA to consider the needs and interests of artisanal fishermen in the implementation of the plan. The Just a Girl Initiative, or charity organization, is set to graduate at least 20 young women and girls in tailoring, computer skills, pastry, catering, among others disciplines from its vocational and economic empowerment program. The event will take place on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. This graduation ceremony will mark the organization's 6th cycle since its establishment in 2015. Making the disclosure on Friday, Just a Girl Initiative founder and Chief Executive Officer Evelyn Sibe emphasized that the organization was founded to restore hope and career opportunities for young women and girls, particularly in response to her reports on the troubling trends of females being drawn into commercial sex work in Liberia. Madam Sibe highlighted the organization's commitment to shaping the minds of females through vocational education, enabling them to make positive contributions to their families and communities. Out of Liberia now, the family of Zambia's foreman President Igor Lungo says he will be buried in South Africa in a private ceremony following a row with the government over the funeral arrangements. Late on Thursday, President Hakainde Hichilema cut short a period of national mourning after Lungo's family refused to allow his body to be repatriated from South Africa as planned. His funeral had been set for Sunday in Zambia's capital, Lusaka. That's Lusaka. The family now says it will announce later when Lunga will be buried in Johannesburg in dignity and peace. It will be the first time a former head of state of another country is buried in South Africa. In his will, Lunga said that Hichilema, his long-time rival, should not attend his funeral. The government and his family later agreed he would have a state funeral before relations broke down over the precise arrangements. Thus, RCO News Bulletin is back to Johnson Gbarntolmah for the continuation of News Desk.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in your grateful manner, we'll keep your better level.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary at 12. My name is Johnson Gbarntolmah Naketa. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation.
In one of our top developments, Associate Justice Cabinet General expresses regret over supporting the ruling Unity Party, says he feels deceived and disappointed. Let's bring it our first development on the program. The Commissioner of ODS, Kongotan Elolaha, is recommending the national government organize a national mental crusade aimed at revitalizing the mental health of status widows in the country. The oldest Kongotan Commissioner says since the end of the Liberian Civil War and the process of the disarmament, there has not been a well-structured rehabilitation for individuals who participated in the war. Something said is having serious implication on the nation. According to him, people are in the society full of individuals who are traumatized and frustrated over poor living conditions. Speaking Friday as one of the facilitators of a day-long symposium organized by Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy in Painesville, Commissioner Edward Lahar told the gathering the Liberians are becoming emotional, temperamental as a result of mental imbalance.
Today we spoke on the symposium and we were speaking on conflict and resolution. So, one of the situations we have is that there is this rising, nature of conflicts all over our country and extended to other parts of the world. And so we provided some lecture on conflict and how we can resolve it. So part of what we were doing is to make the comrades to understand what is conflict, the types of conflict, what can cause conflict, and how we can resolve it. And it was a great time being with them. We enjoyed ourselves and we had a great interaction.
During your deliberation, you made a lot of remarks. And one key thing I told from there is that you said Liberia needs mental crusade.
Yeah, there's this situation where a lot of people don't notice that many of us in this country, we are faced with some kind of mental situation, and that can only be handled if we pay attention to a mental crusade that will revitalize our mental state as a nation. In the majority, because sometimes you're interacting with people on the street, they just randomly get angry. It's a mental an issue, and I think we need to pay attention to that. I think the Ministry of Health, have a mental division that is doing well, but on the large scale, we need to expand on what they are doing to make sure that some of these mental situations are resolved, because we can have a country where everybody just angry. You understand? So we need to resolve some of the situation by what I spoke about, the mental crusade, our engagement to revamp our mental state. We don't process our thoughts. Somebody says something, everybody get carried and say that true. No, we have to be in a point where, in a state where we have to now start to embrace critical thinking. A lot of the times people don't analyze things. They just hear and say, oh yeah, I'm happy. No, we should now be in a state where we can analyze and critically, think about some of the issues that are coming to us as the public, so that with that we can be able to process our thought and reach to a point where we can have a logical conclusion.
He is the Commissioner of ODS Kongatan Elliot Lahar there speaking. At the same time, Commissioner Elliot Lahar is encouraging Liberian youths to be mindful in selecting their career path. He said young people often graduate from high school without knowing their career path, blaming the situation on the lack of career development and pathway seminar organized by school administrators in the country.
So we have this situation where we are faced with, as young people, we don't have a clear career pathway, even in universities. While we are in university, we still don't have a career pathway that we have chosen. And so what I was trying to say is that we need to now engage in activities that will guide students while they are even in high school to choose a career pathway that they can pay attention to and be able to revolve into specialized people that can help, with the transformation of this country. You see, one of the students said the complexities of the subject and everything. That's why I said to them, gradually we get there. Right now, once they are allowing students to pay attention to the sciences if they want, the arts if they want, and some of them combine. That also have to come into the schools. Where we can allow the high school students to pay attention to areas that they want to specialize, whether arts or science. And then it will help us, in the whole issue of choosing a career pathway.
Edward Lahar is the Commissioner of ODS Kongatan there speaking when served one of the facilitators of After Works seminar organized by the Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy, where he lectured on conflict resolution. For his part, the Executive Director of Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy, Bobby Kowit, said the Afterwards seminar was organized to educate high school graduates to understand how they can select their career path. He named conflict resolution, career development pathway, entrepreneurship, volunteerism, patriotism, among others, are topics taught during the seminar.
I'm the Executive Director for Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy, youth organization fully registered with national government that are featuring impacting knowledge onto young people. So basically, the YIPA Afterwards Symposium, they was designed in order to create an opportunity for high school students, basically those that just wrote the words, those that are coming out of high school this year, and not just those that are coming out of high school, but also recent graduates, in order to train them how to choose their career here. And the symposium is unlocking the questions that says after high school, what next? We really listen to that question. After high school, what next? How are the young people going to fund themselves? So this program has been designed in order to train them in career for career development, training on volunteerism, what it means to volunteer your service or services to Liberia. And we have conflict resolution here, because in society, in the society, there are forces in the society. So you need to prepare yourself in order to combine. So how you can live with young people in the society for conflict, how to mitigate conflict. And we also have patriotism. One of the causes we are offering for today is patriotism. How you can be patriotism not for the country. Yeah, so like I said, it has been designed in order to prepare young people for the South. Yes, we have well-trained facilitators, those that have contributed immensely to the society to speak on this process of topic. Our first speaker was very Ase Chikekura. He is the founder of Youth Aid International, Myean, and he spoke on volunteerism. It was very great, and the people learned how to volunteer their services. And the next facilitator was the commissioner for Combatant Township, Commissioner Edward Hector, and he lamented on peace and conflict resolution. Yeah, it was so fascinating on the peace and conflict resolution, how young people can live together in peace and conflict. The third speaker is Ambassador Johnson Gbarntolmah. John Bay is a youth development expert, and currently he's speaking on career planning for career development. And our next facilitator is Prince Papa Legend Gibson. Legend Gibson is a journalist and he also a minister of the gospel, and he's going to speak on patriotism. The next person we have is Christina Success Flow, and she's going to speak on entrepreneurship. Those that are wanting to go in the business world, how to become an entrepreneur. These are individuals, well-trained individuals that are providing the services for the young people.
Bobby, that's Ambassador Bobby Kobe is the Executive Director of Youth Initiative for Peaceful Advocacy. They're giving overview of the After Works seminar organized today in Painesville on the head voice of the Commissioner of ODS Congo Town, Edward Daha, who served as one of the facilitators teaching on the topic conflict resolution. A charity organization, Just a Girl Initiative, is said to graduate at least 20 young women and girls in a dream. The women were taught in tailoring, computer skills, pastry, catering, computer skills, pastry, among others, discipline for its vocational and economic empowerment program. The event is expected to take place this Saturday in Liberia. This graduation ceremony will mark the organization's first 6 cycles since its establishment in 2015, making the disclosure Friday through RCI News. Just a Girl Initiative founder and Chief Executive Officer Evelyn Balesibi emphasized that the organization was funded to restore hope and provide career opportunities for young women and girls, particularly in response to a report on the troubling trend of females being drawn into commercial sex work in Liberia.
Will be graduating beneficiaries from our vocational and economic empowerment program. That is one of our many program areas as an institution. The program on Saturday will be finalizing and certificating people, both young men and girls who have benefited from our empowerment program. We this year had 6 cycles. We've had from cycle 1 up to cycle 6. This year is 1 decade, 10 years of charity work, and this graduation for us is a milestone. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary. The total number of those that were enrolled in cycle, we have up to 35 students. Challenges along the way, we some of the economic hardship in the country. So most often, not everybody will always make it to the end of the cycle. Some of them have lack of materials, especially the program is tuition free and any donors to put it on. So they themselves material for practical, we just open our doors and they're provided tools, the sewing machine, they need to do their work. So the tutor for the receive should be up to 20 students to be graduating. Within that, some of them will not even pay the graduation fees. However, that's part of the number this year. We've really seen a decline because of the challenges in the country. They've learned computer, they came with no personal computer, but they're able to work Microsoft Word, they're able to do ID cards for a publisher, they're able to do call cards, able to set up documents, and for those who do the pastry, they learn all the different type of breads, the different foods, they all cake, the is combined. Those are the pastry, they do pastry and they do pastry. To the cook, they do all the food. What makes that believe is the fact that our trainers are very passionate. Since Johnson Gbarntolmah started the empowerment program, all of the trainers we had from the start, they are still with us. It's one of the challenges. What inspired it was a report I did on commercial sex, so say Liberia prostitution, which is most times I encourage to say. But when I was then with the democracy radio, so I did a story about women teenage prostitution, and all the girls are interviewed. One of them story really resonated, and her dream was to some skills you wanted to have. As I asked her, do you think you have an alternative to replace commercial? You prefer that? And she said, yes. I said, what do you think you want to learn? What do you want to do with your hands? Empower yourself rather than sleeping with 5, 6 men, just to earn 500 liberty a night, or maybe sometimes they even do short time for 200 LD. So she said to me, I want to know her name. And she wanted to tolerate. And that story of that girl request, it kept, on my mind. So I started reaching out to people. Initially, I didn't start with the program. I started with counseling, the support, providing them, help, and what's started with just helping that one girl has become a movement that has impacted more than 500 people, girls, women, and young men who are not commercial sector but lack opportunities. So that's not just a girl.
Madam Evelyn Balesby is the Chief Executive Officer of Just a Girl Initiative there speaking. Despite the successes of Just a Girl Initiative, Madam Sigby noted that the lack of support continues to undermine the vision and objectives of the institution.
That is when the work I do as a journalist. Myean has what I've kept the organization going has been the work I do as a journalist. Money and resources that I earned from my freelancing. I'm now employed with any local media though, but I save some for family, I put some to pay staff, I use some for buying materials, servicing sewing machines just to get the program up, but it's been really tough, I must admit. But with God in my helper, these few friends and supporters who've been there with us over the years. We've tried to be around for 10 good years. Still fortunate, it's been no joke, but it's been passion. With the time I reached to the point where I want to just shut down the entire program, and like charity in Liberia is difficult. You have your district lawmaker who has the capacity to partner and so more people in the program that they get more skilled. Then you hear one lawmaker is opening their own vocational school. And so when they open it because they get $50,000 every month and they got the gas in the district, they say that you don't even see that presence, then they open the vocational school and say, everybody just come. Anything the future is trying. And when elections are over, those programs are continuing to run back again. So as we graduate, psychosec we will be moving and onward. I tell people that Girl is not a seasonal organization. We want support from the public. The first lady office, of second lady, the first lady office with some for our computer literacy. We want to help people who leave high school to have some basic skills. Let me say now this. Wrote that letter, we're never going to not a call, not even an email. So many things with them. But it's just a great this we are still doing that. That's important, girls. Let's empower society. That's when women and girls are empowered. You're not just empowering that one, it has a multiplying effect on the society, even families, but we are in partnership. We have the leaders. You don't have to be okay, you say we put this partnership with you. There's a 200 students of women, girls, and young men in the course of 1 year. We're going to do it for 6 months. What if we do 100 students? We're going to have new skills in 1 year time. The big challenge is to pay the trainers in the material for the students' practical. We have to even close down some of the different departments, like the electrical department, the soap making department, because those materials are expensive.
Madam Evelyn Balesby is a Liberian journalist and the Chief Executive Officer of Just a Girl Initiative. They're disclosing the graduation of 20 young women girls from its economic empowerment program. She's also calling for support institution. She spoke to our reporter Emmanuel Sansi. In women development, a young Liberian entrepreneur Melissa Nyanigo has launched an initiative aimed at controlling waste on the campuses of the University of Liberia. The initiative, under the topic On the team, UL Sanitation Organization, according to Ms. Yanibo, is geared towards addressing waste management, which has been an old-age problem on the campuses of the University of Liberia. According to her, the University of Liberia campuses has banned labor as dirty as kept, noting that the cleanliness of the university campuses requires the holistic approach of all students to exchange their narrative.
Students if you're still at the awareness, key item of restroom facilities. So many students will stop and decide to step in. What the essence of all learning is to gain finance and also be positive impact in our society. As a student at the University of Oregon, I just entered there. I expressed the idea that they used the restroom. I entered the restroom with my older. I've been sick, and it drew my attention because I've been into activities like this, doing some voluntary jobs. So it drew my attention and I took my issue. I cannot sit and do like all other students in here without making an impact. So I came up with this idea and I discussed it with you and praised the idea. So I took the bold step in creating this organization.
Your plans to extend everyone with the
in the Black community and also at Black offices because the last time I visited some government officials area and was not encouraging.
She is a youthful Liberian entrepreneur, Melissa speaking. The organization is meanwhile poised to hold a 4-day sanitation seminar for both high school and university students. The seminar, which is expected to be held from July 7 to 12/6, to enhance students' knowledge that will enable them in their various communities. If you are just joining us, please be informed that you
Students are out because we have our young folks that will be at home. Maybe do work as student at a university vocational training. The vocational training is $20, but for students, it has $30.
Basically, when is this initiative started to commence and how long it is expected to last?
So this initiative July 7 and July 12. It will be a 4-day training and we will also be giving out certificate for participation. This is the very first initiative we are about to do. Let me just say the key reason for which we established this vocational training. We have our young people who are part of this initiative. And we don't want to we've got too much money basis that we shy them away. So we came up with this idea. Because we don't just want to be like all other organizations who are just doing for the money. But we want to step out very strong and boldly to address the issue. Well, first, start with the restroom and also help students in high school to get a clear understanding of the need of sanitation. Facebook, Melissa Watayandigo, or you can call the 2568 or 677 $20 for university students and $3,000 for high school students. Certificates.
She is Melissa Yanibo there of the UL Sanitation Organization. They're disclosing the hosting of for the seminar on sanitation seminar for both high school and university students beginning from July 7 to the 12th. She was in conversation with reporter Kopo Sangam. If you are just joining us, please be informed that news desk 45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated with Trustbeat on our central studio in Newport Road, Painesville, outside the nation's capital, Monrovia. We apologize we could not bring you the passion of live sports here on the desk, but let's bring you more developments on the program. ECOWAS volunteer program in partnership with its national office in the West Africa organization has presented 4 items senatorial powers, among others, to 3 local institutions outside Monrovia. Institutions that benefited from the donation include the Alpha School of Deaf and Dumb and the Sister IA School and the Oscar and Viola Stewart Mission. Speaking at the program, the deputy head of ECOWAS national office in Liberia, Amos said the donation is part of the volunteers' way of celebrating the 50th anniversary of ECOWAS. According to Tuka, ECOWAS is now moving from the ECOWAS of states to ECOWAS of the people in order to enhance social cohesion that foster integration in the sub-region.
The EBP coordinator and the ECOWAS ambassador, it is our pleasure at this time to officially present these items to our beneficiaries. We saw and we know that you will use it, and we believe that it will help you for some time, and then we pray that after what God himself provides, that you always have your needs met to go along. So the EBP has been doing very well. Then you know, ECOWAS now has changed. It used to be ECOWAS of states. State means country. Liberia, Guinea-Bissau, Togo, Nigeria, Kenya, etc. So it used to be all countries coming together. Then later on, our leaders said, no, it was not bad that we started as states, country, but we have to move to an ECOWAS of people. So the whole ECOWAS organization now is more than just the countries coming together. It is now more about the people. So because now we have an ECOWAS of people, it means we have to reach the people. So that's how all these initiatives and new programs are coming about. We've brought specialists from across the region. We've recruited some of them from Liberia. They work in different sectors. But then we said, no, we can also go beyond that. But this program is about bringing things to you that you.
Amos Tubo is the deputy head of the Economic Community of West African States office in Liberia. They're speaking during the donation of Sarah items to institutions outside Monrovia. Well, folks, this is all the time we have to be with you on today's edition of the program News Desk. But as we take leave of you, a recap of our headlines. Former Associate Justice Cabinet Janet expresses regret while supporting the ruling Unity Party, says he feels deceived and disappointed. ODS Congo Town Commissioner recommends the national government organized a national mental crusade aimed at revitalizing the mental status of citizens of Liberia. ECOWAS volunteer program, in partnership with its national partners, present food and non-food items to several institutions outside Monrovia and away from Liberia. Family of Zambia's former president Edgar Lungu says he will be buried in South Africa in a private ceremony following a row with the government or the funeral arrangements. We love to say many thanks to our directors, contributors, correspondents for making today's edition of the program a success. Special thanks to a FD radio station for relaying this broadcast. Thank you, Naketa Roberts, who brought for us the news bulletin. Kobo Sangal, Sala Controller, producer our sounds. Maya Torgbean, as usual, is behind the camera room. And News Desk is taking its usual weekend break to be back fresh on Monday. Please join us this weekend. My name is Johnson Gbarntolmah. I presented
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep you updated.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence
some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen Derka Present. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Myean TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.